Welcome to English Box, Easy English with Julia and Tom. This channel is all about helping you build English into your daily life, a little bit at a time, without stress. I'm Julia, and I'm really happy you're spending this time with us today.
And I'm Tom. We're very glad you're here, especially because today's topic is something everyone has, even when they don't realize it.
Exactly. Today's topic is yesterday, what you did, what happened, and how to talk about the past in simple English. Yesterday sounds easy, but when you panic, you might say, yesterday, I was, I forget.
Don't worry, that confusion is very normal. In this episode, we'll help you talk about yesterday using clear, natural English without overthinking grammar.
We'll focus on the past simple, the tense we use to talk about finished actions in the past, like what you did yesterday morning, yesterday evening, or even 5 minutes ago.
We'll show you how people really talk about the past in daily conversations. Not long grammar rules, just real examples you can copy and reuse.
And yes, we'll talk about regular verbs, irregular verbs, and those tricky little changes, but in a calm and practical way.
As always, we'll speak slowly and clearly so you can listen and practice anywhere, while walking, cooking, commuting, or lying on the sofa thinking about what you did yesterday.
You can just listen, or you can repeat sentences with us. And if you make mistakes, that's perfect. Mistakes mean your brain is learning.
Our goal is to help you feel confident saying simple past sentences like, yesterday I worked, yesterday I met a friend, or my favorites, yesterday I did absolutely nothing.
Which is a very honest sentence. Before we begin, if you enjoy learning English through calm, natural conversations like this, please like this episode and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep creating practical lessons for you. All right, get comfortable, maybe grab a drink or a snack.
And let's talk about yesterday, one simple sentence at a time.
Let's begin. Yesterday. So, Tom, let's start simple. How was your day yesterday? Was it calm, busy, or one of those days that feels much longer than it really was?
Honestly, yesterday felt endless, which means it felt very long, not infinite, but emotionally long. I woke up wishing it was Friday.
That sounds exhausting. My day was much calmer. Yesterday was quite uneventful, meaning nothing special or dramatic happened, and sometimes that's actually a good thing.
Uneventful sounds peaceful. My yesterday was the opposite. The first thing I did yesterday morning was open my eyes and immediately want to sleep again.
Very relatable. The first thing I did was also very exciting. I opened my eyes, checked the time, and realized I was not late. That moment gave me instant happiness.
That feeling is priceless, meaning so good that money can't buy it. After that, I woke up properly, had breakfast, and started work. I have a long to-do list to finish before the weekends. Somehow they felt dramatic yesterday.
Yesterday morning, I woke up, had a simple breakfast, and made some coffee. Then I sat down and started work slowly, without rushing. I like starting the day in a deliberate way, carefully and with intention.
I wish I were that calm. Yesterday, I rushed everything. I answered emails, joined meetings, and tried to sound intelligent before my brain was fully awake.
That takes talent. Yesterday afternoon, I worked on a few small tasks and then took a short walk. It helped me reset my mood and feel more productive, which means getting useful things done.
I walked too, but only from my desk to the kitchen and back. Still, yesterday felt overwhelming, meaning there were too many things happening at the same time.
Even so, it sounds like a full day. Yesterday evening, I finished work, cooked dinner, and relaxed at home. Nothing exciting, but very comfortable.
Yesterday evening, I did almost the same, except I stared at the wall for 5 minutes, thinking about everything I didn't finish. Very philosophical.
That's a classic end to the day. So if you had to summarize yesterday in one sentence, what would you say?
I'd say yesterday was busy, slightly chaotic, but survivable. How about you?
Mine would be, yesterday was simple, calm, and exactly what I needed. Yesterday morning. Let's zoom in on yesterday morning. After you woke up, what was the first real thing you did? And please don't say, opened my eyes again.
Okay, fine. I woke up at 6:45, stared at the ceiling for a moment, and tried to remember who I am. Then I slowly got out of bed.
That sounds very honest. Yesterday morning, I woke up at 6:30, made my bed, and went straight to the kitchen. My morning routine, meaning the things I do every day, is very calm and predictable.
Predictable sounds nice. My routine exists, but it only works when my brain is awake. Yesterday, I moved through the morning on autopilot, which means I did things without really thinking.
Autopilot mornings are very common. After I made coffee, I had enough time to eat breakfast slowly and check my plan for the day. I didn't feel rushed, meaning I wasn't doing everything too fast.
I was definitely rushed. I didn't have time to eat properly, so I grabbed something small and ran out of the house. I left the house at 7:30, but I almost forgot my keys.
That's stressful. Did anything unusual happen yesterday morning? Something not normal for you?
Yes, actually. I arrived at work and realized I forgot my coffee. That may sound small, but for me, that's very unusual and slightly tragic.
I understand. Nothing unusual happened to me. Yesterday morning was very smooth. I woke up, had breakfast, and started work feeling relaxed.
I admire that. Yesterday, I woke up tired, answered messages too early, and tried to sound professional before my brain was fully online.
That's impressive in a strange way. Did you have time to plan your day in the morning?
Not really. I didn't have time to think ahead, so I just reacted to things. That's another sign of an autopilot morning.
For me, planning helps. When my morning is calm, the rest of the day feels easier. Even small actions, like sitting quietly with coffee, make a difference.
I agree. Yesterday taught me something simple. Mornings matter. If I slow down a little, I might forget fewer things, like my keys, my coffee, or my personality.
That's a great lesson. So if you had to describe yesterday morning in one sentence, what would it be?
Yesterday morning was rushed, slightly chaotic, and powered by hope instead of coffee.
Mine would be, yesterday morning was calm, familiar, and exactly how I like to start my day. Yesterday afternoon. Let's move on to yesterday afternoon. After lunch, what did you do?
Yesterday afternoon, I worked on emails, reports, and something I like to call pretending to be organized. I had many tasks, meaning small pieces of work, but my focus was unstable.
That sounds familiar. Yesterday afternoon, I worked on two main tasks and finished both of them. I felt quite productive, which means I got useful things done without feeling stressed.
That's impressive. I started many tasks, but I didn't finish all of them. I got distracted, meaning my attention moved to other things very easily, like messages, snacks, and random thoughts.
Distractions are everywhere. Did you finish what you planned to do?
Not exactly. I finished the urgent things, but I had to postpone some tasks, which means I decided to do them later. Probably tomorrow's problem.
Tomorrow often becomes very busy because of that. Yesterday afternoon, I followed my plan quite closely. I worked for a few hours, took a short break, and then finished one last task before stopping.
That sounds balanced. I forgot to take breaks, so by the middle of the afternoon, my brain felt tired. I forgot to reply to one email and only remembered it late in the day.
That happens when we work too long without resting. I like afternoons that feel steady, not rushed. Yesterday, I felt satisfied because I finished what mattered most.
I didn't finish everything, but I learned something. Yesterday afternoon showed me that doing fewer tasks well is better than doing many tasks badly.
That's a great insight. Sometimes finishing one important task gives more peace than starting 5 new ones.
Exactly. Yesterday afternoon wasn't perfect, but it was realistic. I worked, I postponed some things, and I survived.
That's a success already. If you had to describe yesterday afternoon in one sentence, what would you say?
I'd say yesterday afternoon was busy, slightly distracted, and full of tasks for future me.
Mine would be, yesterday afternoon was calm, productive, and nicely under control. Yesterday evening. Let's talk about yesterday evening. After work, what did you do?
Yesterday evening, I did something very ambitious. I did nothing. I stayed at home, ordered food, and practiced what I call professional relaxing.
That sounds wonderful. Yesterday evening, I cooked dinner at home and ate slowly. Cooking helps me unwind, which means to relax after a long or stressful day.
I wanted to cook, but I was completely exhausted, meaning very tired, both physically and mentally. Ordering food felt like the healthiest decision for my brain.
That's fair. Did you spend the evening alone or with someone?
I spent most of the evening alone, but I texted a friend and talked a little. It was very low-key, meaning simple and not exciting. No parties, no big plans.
I like low-key evenings too. Yesterday evening, I stayed home and spent time with my family. We talked, ate together, and watched something light on TV.
That sounds cozy. I watched a show as well, but honestly, I don't remember much because my brain slowly powered down.
That's a sign you really needed rest. In the evening, I like activities that help me recharge, which means to get my energy back for the next day.
Exactly. Yesterday evening wasn't about being productive. It was about surviving the day and feeling human again.
Did you go out at all?
No, I didn't go out. I thought about it for 5 seconds, then decided my sofa needed me more.
I understand that feeling very well. Yesterday evening, I also didn't go out. Staying in felt calm and comfortable, and I slept better because of it.
Same here. A quiet evening helped me reset. Sometimes doing less is actually the smart choice.
Absolutely. Evenings don't need to be exciting to be good.
Yes, yesterday evening reminded me that rest is not laziness, it's necessary.
If you had to describe yesterday evening in one sentence, what would you say?
I'd say yesterday evening was quiet, low-key, and exactly what I needed.
Mine would be, yesterday evening helped me unwind, recharge, and feel ready for today. Looking back on yesterday. Now that the day is over, let's look back. How did you feel about yesterday overall?
Overall, I'd say yesterday felt a little messy, but not terrible. I was tired and slightly stressed, but I also survived, which already feels like an achievement.
That's a very honest answer. When I reflect on yesterday, meaning I calmly think back about it, I feel quite peaceful. Nothing big happened, but the small moments felt nice.
That sounds healthy. Yesterday wasn't perfect for me, but parts of it were still satisfying, which means they felt good when I finished them.
What part felt satisfying for you?
Finishing work in the evening, even though I didn't complete everything. Closing my laptop felt like victory. My brain said, good enough for today.
I love that. Yesterday made me feel grateful, meaning thankful, especially for having time to slow down in the evening. Sometimes calm days are a gift we don't notice.
I agree. I didn't feel super productive, but I felt human, and that counts.
Is there anything you would do differently if you could repeat yesterday?
Yes, I wish I had taken a short break in the afternoon instead of pushing through. My energy dropped, and everything felt harder after that.
That's very relatable. I don't really have big regrets, meaning things I strongly wish were different. Maybe I would have gone for a longer walk, but that's a small thing.
Small regrets are okay. Big regrets usually need snacks and sleep to process.
Very true. Emotionally, yesterday felt balanced for me. Not exciting, not boring.
For me, yesterday was imperfect, but acceptable. It wasn't a great day, but it wasn't a bad one either.
And that's important to say out loud. Not every day needs to be special or productive.
Exactly. Some days are just days, and that's normal.
If you had to describe yesterday in one feeling, what would it be?
I'd say tired, but calm. How about you?
I'd say grateful and steady. That brings us to the end of today's episode. Today we talked all about yesterday, what you did in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, and how you felt about the day overall, using simple, real-world English you can use every day.
And remember, speaking well doesn't mean speaking perfectly. When you talk about familiar things like what you did yesterday, English feels more natural and much less stressful.
Before we finish, let's quickly review some useful vocabulary we learned today, including a few more advanced words. First, routine means the things you usually do every day. For example, my morning routine is very simple.
We also used unusual, which means not normal or different from usual. For example, yesterday was unusual because I stayed home all day.
Another helpful word is productive, meaning you did useful things. For example, yesterday afternoon was productive. I finished my tasks.
We talked about postpone, which means to do something later, not now. For example, I postponed my work until tomorrow.
When we talked about evenings and rest, we used unwind, meaning to relax after a busy day. For example, I like to unwind by watching a movie.
We also practiced reflect, which means to think back calmly about something. For example, I reflected on my day before going to bed.
And finally, we used grateful, which means thankful. For example, I felt grateful for a quiet evening.
If you remember even a few of these words, you're already making great progress.
Now it's your turn to practice. Try saying 1 or 2 sentences about your yesterday.
You can say them out loud or write them in the comments. Small practice really adds up.
For example, yesterday I worked and felt tired. Or, yesterday was calm and I relaxed at home.
If you enjoy learning English through calm, natural conversations like this, please like this episode and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continue creating lessons for busy learners like you.
And don't forget to leave a comment below. Tell us, how was your yesterday?
Keep it simple. One honest sentence is more than enough.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Be patient with yourself, trust your progress, and keep practicing, one real sentence at a time.
We'll see you in the next episode.
See you in the next episode.